Okay, guys, so I feel like the dad and daughter dream team continue to get worse by the day. The lies keep compounding, the uncomfortable, inappropriate moments continue to add up, and at this point, it almost feels like nothing has changed for the better, only the worse. So, this past week, a lot of people think that they've caught Sarah in another lie, and I can kind of see why. So, we're going to be discussing that as well as a few other updates and things that have happened since the last time we covered them in April. So, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into the video. Okay, so like I say in a lot of my videos where I talk about the dad and daughter dream team, if you didn't know or you don't know who I'm talking about, I have an entire playlist that you can go and catch yourself up to speed on. My camera, my lighting, my overall quality of the videos, I think have changed, hopefully for the better. But one thing that has not changed, one thing that has remained the same since we started talking about this family, is just how vile Patrick truly is. So definitely go check out those videos if you haven't already. Okay, so one of the first things that I want to talk about is how a lot of people think that Sarah has been caught in another lie. And what I mean by that is that she's been caught in lies before, one of the biggest ones being that she moved out of her family's space, the motel, the extended stay, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, and into her own apartment. When in reality, that wasn't the case. They all still were living together and they had created a space in the apartment to make it look like Sarah was on her own when that, again, wasn't the case. And during all of that, she had an Amazon wish list up to furnish her space that people were buying off of. And she also said that she got a job. And again, that was all a big fat lie. And when you think about it with the wish list, I'm assuming, right, I'm assuming that the reason a lot of people were buying things off this wish list is because they wanted the best for Sarah. They were happy to see that she was, branching off on her own. They wanted to help her new life, like help start her new life. When in reality, those items were going to her family. It was probably Patrick and Teresa being like, "Ooh, I want that. I want that. Put that on the wish list." And they were all using it. But now, this past week, it looks like she's been caught in another lie. We can't confirm it, but I will say that the evidence, it's pretty compelling. So basically, what happened was during a live stream, which they do every single day, she said that she had a good day because she had dinner with some friends, and then she proceeded to get up and flip around her camera to show pictures of her with her friends with emojis over the pictures or over the faces of the girls in the picture.
What did y'all do today? I went out to dinner with my friends.
Yeah, put it a little bit closer. It's kind of blurry. Okay, that's good.
There's that one. That one.
And people were very quick to notice that the pictures seemed off, like they were almost possibly AI generated. And I do see why people think this. Sarah's face, her position to the camera, it literally doesn't change in any of the pictures. And the women in each picture proportionally look very different. And I'm not talking about weight or anything like that. I mean actual proportions. Like basically, if I took a picture of myself and I shrunk down myself in the picture, and then I took that same picture that the unedited version, and I put them next to each other, like both of my bodies next to each other, one's gonna look disproportionate. I feel like there maybe is a better way for me to explain this, but I have a bit of a cold right now, so bear with me. That's the best way I could explain it to you. And if you've seen AI pictures, like AI generated pictures, they all have a certain look. And I will say that the women in these pictures have that look. And on top of all of that, someone spotted Sarah and Teresa at the grocery store at 4:52 p.m. the same day that they did the live at 7 p.m., where Sarah said that she had a good day because she got dinner with her friends. Now, if you're at the grocery store still at 4:52 and you go home and you unload your groceries, do you really have time to go out to dinner with your friends and then be back by 7 p.m. sharp to start your daily live stream that you do with your parents? I mean, you could. One could argue that, yeah, maybe she only went out for an hour, but I don't know. Given all that we know about the family, I think, and just the fact that the pictures do look AI generated, given that she's been known to lie before, not to mention we know that her and Patrick like to use AI to generate music, photos, all different types of things.
We went out to eat, and then, like I said, one of my friends needed something at the store, so we went, and I got a coffee. She also got me a cake pop. That was very nice of her. Yeah, she grabbed the cake pop because
Who
she went to the
designs
bakery.
who designs the super fan stickers? They are cool.
Our lovely mod, Caitlin. She's the one who does our stickers. But she went to the bakery to get the cake pop, and I went to the drinks to get the poppy.
Madison.
Hmm?
Madison.
Yeah, she went to the bakery to get the cake pops. I didn't know what she was doing. I went to the drink aisle to get the. You can buy bracelets at thegetchofamily.com. I went to get the poppy, and she came to the register while I was paying for my drink, and she got the register next to me, and she was scanning everything, and I saw she had cake pops, and I figured it was for her and her boyfriend. And so we got out to her car, and she opened the bag, and she opened the cake pop. She said, "Here you go." I'm like, "That's a cake pop. I thought that was for your boyfriend." She goes, "No, I know you're on a diet, but you can treat yourself." I'm like, "You're so sweet."
To me, and this is just my opinion, I think Sarah took a picture of herself that day and used AI to generate that photo to make it look like she was in these pictures with the different friends, to make it look like she has friends, which is sad. I think that ultimately, even though, yes, if she was lying, that's lying. Like, that's wrong. But if that's the situation that we have going on, where she uses AI to try to convince us that she has friends, that is sad. Nothing has indicated to us that Sarah has any friends, let alone three. And in relation to that, nothing has indicated to us that Sarah has any real connections to the outside world. Yeah, she has TikTok, but she doesn't have a job. She doesn't go to school. She doesn't even show herself going out and about to even run an errand alone. Remember, Patrick, for a period of years, supported Sarah in thinking that an actress was her best friend, as a way, in my opinion, for him to let her think that she has a friend. Communication with someone other than him that in reality would only happen if they went to a paid meet and greet where they'd have maybe a 60, 90-second interaction with this girl that was paid for. So, do I think that she was really able to conjure up three different women to go out to dinner with, women who were dressed trendy, put together? No, I really don't. And I don't say that in a way to be mean, but I just think, given all that we know, that it's just another lie. And likely a lie that Patrick has helped facilitate in order to make it appear that Sarah is just a normal 20-something-year-old woman, and we are the crazy ones for thinking anything else. And I've definitely seen a lot of discourse over Sarah and just how people feel about her. And it seems like people are pretty torn down the middle. One side thinks that she is the victim and she shouldn't be blamed for her lies, for her behavior, and that it's all Patrick's fault. And then there's the other side that thinks, no, she should have to answer for the lies for her behavior and sort of rise above it. And then there's a lot of people who think she's very okay with where she's at in life and she doesn't want any help. I'm definitely curious where you guys stand on it all. It's a tough situation to navigate, so let me know your thoughts on it. But that's the first update that I wanted to talk about. Something else I wanted to bring up that happened recently that really doesn't help the things that people say about this family. And that was a live stream that they did where Sarah and Patrick went to Topgolf together and streamed the entire thing. And it's weird. Like, I think that's objectively weird, again, given all that we know. Because why, when Sarah has a younger brother who would probably love to get out of the house, why was it just Sarah and Patrick getting out of the house together? Why was Teresa and the brother left at home when they probably don't get out that much in the first place? And no, do I think it's wrong for someone to go out to dinner or golfing or have one on one time with their dad? Absolutely not. In fact, I think it's a great thing if you can still, even into your adulthood, have a good relationship with your dad, but a healthy one. And there is nothing healthy about this one. And something that I've noticed since lightly following them over the past year and a half, and I say lightly because every time I go to check in on this situation, it gets worse and it makes me sick to my stomach. So I can truly only take it in very small doses. But something that I've been noticing, especially since I would say the springtime, is that they don't care anymore. They don't care what people are saying. They don't care to hide their weird, uncomfortable relationship dynamic. They don't care. They're putting it all out there. Because back when it came out that the whole Sarah moving thing was a lie, that Patrick was in fact behind the Alliterotica page, Patrick kind of took a back seat to things for a bit, and we didn't see him very much. Sarah said she was going to start focusing on herself, some distance between her and the dad and daughter dream team. page or a TikTok account. I think even during this time, they disabled the page for a little bit, and we just didn't really see Patrick for a little bit. But the thing is with Patrick, he cannot help himself. He loves, loves, loves the attention. So he couldn't stay away. And before you knew it, he was back, and things were kind of just back to normal. Even with everything that came out, they were just posting as normal, you know? Exactly how they used to. And now it's like they don't even try to create distance on camera, healthy boundaries. Patrick just doesn't care. I mean, he knows people are tuning into the account for one reason, and being that his ultimate goal is to become an influencer, which is a very scary thought, but that is his goal. He has said that. It's no wonder things continue to get worse. Okay, so I wanted to quickly touch on something that we talked about in my last update video on them. And that was they were supposed to do a meet and greet. And they were supposed to have a barbecue cookout, or Patrick was going to cook. And then that got moved around. And then locations had to get moved around because of trolls. And so we were kind of left on a cliffhanger, if you will, over, was it going to happen? Was this meet and greet actually going to happen? It did. You could say it did. Yeah. They ended up having it at a park, and I would assume it's probably the same park where they do a lot of their dance videos. But things went awry very quickly because someone showed up to the meet and greet and live streamed the entire thing from a distance. I think they were on a bench or a picnic table, and they had a clear shot of Patrick and Sarah and Teresa and their tent and their picnic table. And they were live streaming the entire thing. And Patrick and Sarah and all of them knew it. So they would try to put H in front of in front of the view of the camera from a distance so that the video would get flagged. But that didn't work because the live stream continued. What was also going on is you could see Patrick and Teresa vaping a bunch. I think they were also trying to use that as a way to get the person who was streaming get that video flagged. Again, it didn't work. They did have a woman with them who I think is their mod. That's what I was seeing anyway in comments. And then at one point, a couple hours in or so, two women showed up together and took a photo with them. I don't know who they were or what that was all about, but that was it. And then the cops were called. I don't know if it was Patrick or Sarah or Teresa. One of them called the cops, maybe their moderator. I don't know. Someone called the cops on the person who was filming. The cops showed up and said, it's a public park. They're not really doing anything wrong. And then the meet and greet was cut an hour or two short because of trolls, according to Patrick. They said, "Sorry guys, we have to end this early. Like if you guys were on your way to meet us, we're really sorry. Trolls had to ruin it." It's like, "Oh, it wasn't ruined because nobody showed up. It was ruined because of trolls." Okay. Okay.
That was way too unsafe. We should have never gone to the park. And yes, we had two fans show up, three fans.
Three fans, yeah.
They started showing up once the police got there. Teresa was getting extremely stressed out. Sarah was getting scared when they were saying more people were coming.
We knew there was going to be trolls. They're basically ganging up on us.
I knew the trolls were going to be there and completely crazed.
We just didn't want any physical violence or any kind of confrontation.
It's all on them. It's not on us. We were ignoring, we were just doing what we were supposed to be doing. We literally were there for a meet and greet for our fans. We were not there to stir up the trolls. In fact, we were ignoring them. They escalated this by bringing multiple people in a basically almost mob situation.
We felt as if we were being ganged up on. We felt that we were being threatened. We just decided that it was a good idea to pack up and leave.
When you come into real life and you approach us in real life, that's taking it too far.
We're gonna have to plan it better next time because this was off the wall.
I should have canceled it, knowing that the trolls were going to show up. Just how unhinged the haters are, that they are willing to go this far. The police don't investigate false claims. Okay, we didn't escalate anything. We called the police in order to protect ourselves as we made our exit so that we were.
Yeah, that was the shortened Cliff Notes version of their meet and greet, but I did want to talk about it since we talked about it in the last video. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. It did, in fact, happen. And I think, if anything, it proves that they don't have actual fans. Like, I'm sure Patrick has convinced his family into thinking people tune in for one reason, and it's for the train wreck. And it's really sad to me that Patrick has robbed Sarah of having a normal life. At the end of the day, however you think about her, whatever you think about her, he robbed her of a normal life. And I think she's so stunted that it's truly going to take her wanting to do the deep, deep work it would take for things to change. for her to have any sense of normalcy with her life, to have friends, to have a job, anything like that. Have a boyfriend, imagine that. And truthfully, I don't think she's anywhere near that, wanting that at this point. And also, I wanted to add this in. It's kind of a random update, but it's about the dad and daughter dream team. I saw that Chris Hansen is aware of this family. And I guess that there's a lot of people who have very mixed feelings about Chris Hansen. I don't know why. I don't follow Chris Hansen discourse, but it's really crazy to me to think that someone like Chris Hansen knows about the dad and daughter dream team. Like that's wild, right? Anyway, that was just a quick update because I did see a lot of you guys asking when I was going to cover them again, so I figured I would do a quick update. I like to sort of space out my updates with them because it's a heavier video. I feel like it's just a heavier topic, and so I don't like to focus on them too much or talk about them too much, but we've been covering it for a year and a half, so going to continue doing the updates. So definitely hit the thumbs up if you, I always feel weird saying if you enjoyed this video, probably didn't enjoy it, but if you watched it all the way through and you got to this point, please hit that thumbs up button. Hopefully, I see you guys in my next video. And just thank you, as always, for being here. Bye.